Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. We're talking about the New Orleans Saints preseason game number 2 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And as of right now, the teams go into the locker rooms at halftime. The New Orleans Saints are losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars by a score of 17-3. But we all know preseason isn't about, what's on the scoreboard. It's about what we actually see on the field. And I got to honestly say, Who That Nation, I'm very concerned about the Saints, especially when it comes to their offensive line. Look, I watched every game that was played during preseason, highlights, or etc. And I gotta say, I look, and I'm not just doing it for hyperbole. I think the New Orleans Saints may have the worst offensive line in the NFL. I mean, just looking at these guys across the board, doesn't really seem like they're playing with much aggression. Doesn't really seem like they're pushing guys back. It just seems like guys don't know what the heck they're doing. It seems like they're kind of passive when it comes to it. Doesn't matter whether it's the first team or the second team unit defensively for a team. It just does not seem like they are getting it done. And, it's very alarming when you look at the New Orleans Saints putting their first team offensive line on the field so that the quarterbacks can go out there and execute, and you're actually having a quarterback competition. Like, how in God's name can you have a quarterback competition when the offensive line can't even hold up? I mean, these are second, third string guys, and you have your first team unit out there, and they're getting whooped in the trenches. It's embarrassing. It's also embarrassing that when you have a veteran, a guy that you can count on, or you should be counting on, and Cesar Ruiz, and he's the main one getting whipped. Look, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I said a few episodes back earlier in the week, until the Saints fix this interior on their offensive line, they'll never find success. Kelvin Banks is going to be good. Talese Fuaga is good. You got Eric McCoy. He's a veteran. He's good. But you got to fix his interior. I don't care if Trevor Penning goes to left guard. Like, this should just be a one-year situation. And when it comes to Cesar Ruiz, you should be thinking about possibly what are you going to do after this season. This is embarrassing, man, to watch these guys go out there and just get slapped around. And also on the defensive side of the football, now I understand that those are second and third string defenders out there going up against Trevor Lawrence and the first team of the Jaguars, but tackling has been terrible, containment has been terrible, and I mean the front basically been getting whooped by the offensive line of the Jaguars. They were able to run the football. They were able to convert on third downs, if I'm not mistaken. As of right now, they're 6 of 7 on third down. 6 of 7 on third down. They can't even get these guys off the field. So there's a lot of things that the New Orleans Saints are going to have to work on as the regular season approaches. I mean, their issues is way beyond who is going to be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Speaking of quarterbacks, Tyler Shough, up and down, like there was some things that he did well. He was able to get the ball out, to Rashid Shaheed. There was a couple passes that he threw to him. It was a lot of short intermediate passes, but from what I see in this game, it's the same things that we've heard when it comes to him being in training camp, not wanting to pull a trigger, not really trusting what he sees down the field. And he's been checking it down and, looking at his stats right now. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's not terrible. He's as of right now, he's 9 of 12 for 66 yards, but there's a lot of dinking and dunking and checking it down. And it's hard for me to evaluate Tyler Shough when his offensive line looked the way that it is. I mean, the running game of the New Orleans Saints, to me, man, Kendre Miller is definitely turning a corner. If he didn't run the ball with so much power and balance, they wouldn't get anything. Like, they're not able to run the football. They're not able to protect the quarterback. this may be the worst offensive line in the NFL. Like, I'm serious. Like, I watched every team game, like seriously, every team game ready to come to certain highlights, things that happen in a game. This may be the worst offensive line in football right now. Like, seriously. Like, and the New Orleans Saints are not going anywhere if they can't fix this offensive line. That's just the reality of the thing. Once again, I like what I saw out of Kendre Miller. I think that he's been running the ball really well. And also Danny Stutzman, he had some really good plays. He was able to run around. There was one play where he actually ran from one sideline to the other to make the tackle. And of course, he had a pass deflection in the game. This game should easily be 24-3. If it wasn't for Trevor Lawrence, bobbling the snap to Tank Bigsby, they would have scored that touchdown. So it would have been 24-3. The New Orleans Saints, this has been a terrible performance when it comes to execution. Right? It comes when it comes to tackling, rather it comes from the offensive line protecting. It's just been bad, man. And also I just think that they need to fix these things, but I'm wondering to myself, can they? I think that until they fix this offensive line, like seriously, like draft like some aggressive offensive linemen where you're not looking at them as projects, or you're trying to save face when it comes to your selection of these players. You're trying to find a spot for them because you're trying to justify picking them in the first round or picking them in the second round. Like, you got to find some guys that's going to go out there and be able to play. And I'm at a point, I already told you, like, Cesar Ruiz is what he is. I don't care what offensive line coach you bring up in there. He is what he is at this point. And like I said, when it comes to Trevor Penning, I hope that he can resurrect his career. But even if he does, I'm still looking to find a better replacement for both of these guys on the offensive line. I think you got your anchors on the left and the right side, and you got Eric McCoy. He's a really good center. But these two guards, left and right, there's no way in the world in 2026 we should be seeing any one of these individuals. If you're seriously considering talking about improving your offensive line, just absolutely embarrassing to see these boys out here just getting whooped like this in the trenches. And, it's just very discouraging, man, because how can you evaluate the quarterbacks if your offensive line look like slow? Like, they look terrible, absolutely terrible. Like, I'm not going to really get on the defense as much because, like I said, those are second and third string guys, and most of the players that you're seeing out there right now are not even going to be on the football team, or they're probably going to be on the practice squad. I'm more discouraged with the offense. This offense has got to get his act together. I mean, even with Chris Olave dropping a pass on a 3rd and 7, what the heck was that? So I don't know, man. They're going to have to rev it up. People have been talking about how laid back the training camp has been. Maybe they just need to turn it on, man, because it just seems like guys out there just kind of like going through the motions right now. So we'll see in the second half, as I'm pretty sure that Spencer Rattler will play the rest of the game, which means that more than likely Jake Haener won't play. So at the end of the day, this was an embarrassing first half. It was an embarrassing first half, man. Like I said, I'm evaluating based on the execution and what I actually see on the field. I'm not going to put too much stock into how this is going to be, and when it comes to the defense in week one, because you don't see Chase Young out there, you don't see Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan, Brian Brzee. You don't see those guys out there. They're not playing. But this offense, most of the guys that you're seeing out here are going to be the starting offense. And they can't even convert when Trevor Lawrence and, the first team offensively and defensively of Jacksonville aren't even out there. Like, it's very discouraging. Very discouraging. But let's go ahead and read some of these comments, man. It says, man, y'all can't close the door to stop the flies from coming in. You ain't lying. I know we have backups, but so do every other team, and they don't look this bad. Yeah, man, this is pretty bad right here. It's pretty bad. Foskey and Ruiz look like, you know what? Foskey and Jackson can go. Yeah, Isaiah Foskey on his way out. I think we already know that, man. We already know this man on his way out. I mean, the writing is pretty much on the wall. The hate is pretty much in the barn. I mean, the dude out there on special teams getting like whiffing on tackles on special teams. Like it's over for that dude. Loomis has made all these national talking heads look right. I don't want to hear nothing positive from the Saints camp. We suck, and that's it. Look, I don't know if they're gonna suck or not all season. I don't know if it's just they just trying to figure some things out. But all I know is you can't go into the regular season looking like this on the offensive side of football. You cannot. Like you are going to get whipped. And then on top of that, I think what I'm seeing right now, I see some good qualities from Tyler Shough, but I don't think dude ready for prime time just yet. I mean, I think that the New Orleans Saints more than likely going to have Spencer Rattler, start the season if things go awry. Maybe like in the middle of the season, they'll probably allow Tyler Shough to come back in. But look, this dude ain't ready right now, man. And I think the Saints want him to be ready. This is one of those situations. Once again, they're trying to confirm and try to reassure everybody that they made the right decision. But right now, this dude isn't ready, which is understandable. At this point, you have a young, inexperienced quarterback coming from the collegiate to the professional ranks. It's going to take some time. So, I'm not upset about that the guy isn't going to be a first day starter. I think it'd be a huge mistake for them to bring him out there in week one and think that something going to happen. It's going to take some time, especially if you don't have a running game that can accompany him. Like if you had a running game or something and, the offensive line looked like something, then maybe you can put him out there. But, man, this is pretty bad. Okay, as looking at the game, the start of the second half, we had Velus Jones tried to return, but it was a good special teams play by Jacksonville. Jacksonville looked like a really good football team, man. They like a really good football team, man. Liam Cohen really called some really good plays, really good execution by the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. But now we see Spencer Rattler, the start of the second half. Let's see what he can do. All right, you got yourself a handoff here. But like I said, man, I mean, it's hard to evaluate these quarterbacks if the offensive line isn't protecting them. Like they can't even go through their progressions. But I also have to say, man, your boy Tyler Shough was holding on to the ball a little bit too long. It's like he didn't really trust himself. That pass that he threw to Welch, to me, I think that was more of a Welch play than what Tyler Shough did. That was just a really good play by the tight end. All right, so we see he throws the ball. That's to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He gets down the field. He makes somebody miss, and that's a first down. So Spencer Rattler comes into the game. He checks it down to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they get themselves a first down. So right now, like the way that things are going, if Spencer Rattler can have a solid second half here, he can find himself like jumping ahead of this quarterback competition, which he already is in some people's eyes. So this can pretty much confirm it. All right, you go handoff here to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Good run right there. So when you look at the New Orleans Saints, man, I mean, offensively, that offensive line just needs some work. I don't know how you can fix that. And I also feel like, they need to get themselves a veteran quarterback in that room, man. Like I know they're trying to justify it by saying that Kellen Moore is a former quarterback and Scott Tozine is a former quarterback and Doug Nussmeier is a former quarterback. I don't care. Like you need a veteran in that locker room, man. Somebody that has seen it and done it, man. Good bouncing off. There you go, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And man, that was pretty impressive right there. Bounced off two defenders. So what we had was basically 3 consecutive plays that featured Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had a run, 2 catches right here. Okay, they tried to lower the boom, and he shows a really good power burst right there. All right, so here we go. The handoff right here. They tried to get themselves a yard and see where it is. All right, so I didn't mention this. But the New Orleans Saints were 1-5, 1 of 5 on third down in the first half. 1 of 5. Jerry has already reached the acceptance stage. Look, I already told you, man. Like, I'm not even really evaluating this season based on if the same, we already know this team is going through a rebuild. It's going to take some time and some patience, but I also want some reality to go with that patience, which is that offensive line, man. You got to fix it. You got to fix that offensive line, man. Like, you have got to fix that offensive line on the interior, bro. I don't think Eric McCoy has played in this game, but our O-line should look that bad without him. Yeah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't look that bad, but it does. Which is very concerning considering how the health of Eric McCoy has been over the last couple of years. This is not going to change because Mickey Loomis don't want the rough drivers or dogs in the building. That's a man, you hit the nail on the head, Linda. I mentioned this several times here when he was I don't know if it was the post-press conference of the draft or the pre-press conference, but he basically said something on the lines of, we have a certain type of player that we like, and maybe because we like these certain players, it will probably, take us out of the running for a certain player that may be a talented guy. As Spencer Rattler goes deep, he tried to find Mason Tipton, and that pass is incomplete, but there is a flag on the play. So let's see what's going to happen here. So we got a pass interference penalty right there. So Spencer Rattler wasted no time trying to throw the ball down the field. I'm trying to remember. I think there was only one pass that Tyler Shough threw down the field. That was to Trayton Welch. All right, so he tried to get the ball to Mason Tipton, but he puts the ball up there. And, sometimes you got to throw the ball down the field, man. Sometimes things can happen like a pass interference. So that's a big time play right there. Pretty much flip the field. All right, so here we go. Play action, handoff, throws the ball. That one intended for Cedric Wilson, but there was pressure in the face of Spencer Rattler, so that's 2nd and goal. So this is something that the Saints have struggled with too, even in training camp. Red zone offense. Red zone offense has been an issue. But yeah, I mean, them talking about they got a type, shaking hands, kissing babies, and politicking. Like, man, look, can a guy play? Like, can he give you what you need? Like, you should trust your organization to have the right infrastructure to be able to keep these guys focused. Right? You up here worrying about what a guy looks like, and if he gonna want to bag groceries on a Tuesday for a charity at Rouse's or something. Like, man, who cares? Like, I just want these guys to have the best players possible, and that's the reason why you have players, like Jalen Carter going to Philadelphia and them finding success. That's the reason why you're seeing these teams who have these players that play with a level of aggression, and maybe they come in with a little bit of baggage, but they got the right people around them and they find success. And that was he tried to throw a pass to Dante Pettis right there. So that brings up a 4th down. So yet again, the Saints red zone woes continue. And he tried to get the ball, Dante Pettis, little back shoulder fade right there. Pettis couldn't turn around in time, but I mean, so here we go with another field goal. So, I mean, look, credit to Spencer Rattler. He was able to get the ball down the field. So now we're going to see Charlie Smith here. See if he can kick this 23-yard field goal. We know that he deep, and that one is good. Pretty much a chip shot right there. So, yet again, the Saints get down the field, can't cash in the red zone. Says, I'm embarrassed too, no cap. Lynn Cohen looks like the better coach. Well, we know Lynn Cohen can call plays offensively, man. We know that. Like this guy's what he did with Tampa. Like he had Tampa offense looking really good. Baker Mayfield had one of his best seasons statistically. Of course, they won the division again last season. So, dude, he's a good offensive mind. TJ, it's the second and third strings out there. Yeah, it is the second and third strings out there, but at the end of the day, like it's about execution. Like that's what it's about. Like preseason and exhibition play isn't about wins and losses. It's about execution, man. Like, can you execute? And I also feel like if you are going to be playing with first team guys, you're going to be playing, part of the rotation. Like you should be out here making plays against second and third string guys. It's a problem when you're not. It's definitely a problem when you're a first team offensive line and you out there getting whooped in the trenches by second and third string guys. I ain't see Trayvon Walker out there. I didn't see Josh Allen Hines out there. Did y'all see him? I didn't. I didn't see none of those guys. Those are the players. These are the double-digit sack guys. Them dudes didn't play. And you out there can't even hold down the second and third string guys that's probably going to be playing in the USFL next year, but probably not even going to be on somebody's team. That's embarrassing, man. I think they should have taken a chance on Shadur. They probably would have took a chance on Shadur if it was a different front office, or if you had Sean Payton or something like that involved. But I mean, man, I want to pull that up. Like I'm gonna take some time and pull up that clip of Mickey Loomis, and somebody asked him the question talking about certain players, and this guy basically said, like, if you're not our type of player, we're not gonna draft you. Pretty much. I'm paraphrasing there, but that's what he said. It's like, oh, we don't care how good you are. Like it don't matter. Like you can be, all, what I'm saying, like all conference. You can be top 5 pick, but if we don't feel like you fit in our locker room, we're not gonna draft you. Like, so if it's a position of need, let's just say, for example, you got yourself a really good offensive lineman, but he has a reputation of being a little bit like Trent Williams or something. Like, I have that mind frame ready to turn up at any minute. You're telling me you're not going to draft that guy just for the simple fact that he has that Trent Williams type mind frame? You're not running a business the right way then, and you definitely not trusting the people that are around you, if that's the case. Like, I don't care, man. Like, can that guy give my team the best chance of winning? Can he give my team the best stability at their respective position? Can he do it? Like, you around this thing trying to get choir boys and humanitarians, and it's good to have, but you also need some dogs on your football team too. And I feel like they're so quick sometimes when guys kind of buck the system or show a little bit of their personality, they ready to move on from them. Like, why would you want like just a bunch of passive aggressive players on your football team, or guys that just happy to be there? Like, I don't know, man. Now you want guys to be happy to be there, but at the same time, you want some guys that's sure about themselves. That's something that seems like it's been lost over the last couple of years when it comes to these Saints players, man. TJ, why don't they use the big tight ends red zone? They 6'6", 6'7". I don't know. I don't have a clue. All right. So we got Nick Mullins in the game. That pass was dropped. Really good pass right there by Nick Mullins. So this brings up third down. And Nick Mullins, man, went to USM. Shouts out to James Cometa. Yeah, but Nick Mullins, he's been around, man, for a while. Yeah, man, played with the 49ers for a few years, and now he's with the Jaguars. A pretty solid backup quarterback, man. Pretty solid backup quarterback right there. Shadur was never a locker room problem. Look how his teammates love him in Cleveland. They have to be logical and stop letting emotions get the way of their decisions. Yeah, I agree with that. Sinker with a really good play right there. Guy continues to flash. Shouts out to him. Also, shout out to Eric here for the 9.99. I already read. I apologize, man. I didn't want you to have to donate. But yeah, I just read that. Yeah, he says they have to be logical and stop letting emotions get in the way of their decision. I agree, man. Like, I don't know, like you up here trying to build your team and having a type that ain't cutting it. That is not cutting it. That ain't gonna help you win no football games, man. They're just gonna make you have a soft. And I think, did he get it? No, I think he got stopped. I don't think he got that first down. Yeah, I don't think he got it. I think that's short. What they call it, the first down. Okay, he got it. I don't know, man. Maybe he did. Yeah, maybe he got it. Eric, they say that he even worked hard. Yeah, I mean, look, what was going on with Shadur Sanders had very little to do with his talent and everything to do with the fact of the NFL trying to humble him. You know, like saying no matter how good you are, no matter who your daddy is, like like this the NFL. And I guess even he would have to admit, like the way he kind of carried himself during the draft process, wasn't necessarily ideal, but he definitely didn't deserve to be a 5th-round pick. But at the end of the day, you live and you learn. And I'm not saying that Tyler Shough won't work out. I'm just saying that he ain't ready to be no starter right now. Like he not ready for this moment. Man, can we get can they get a quarterback on the ground, please? Like, I don't know who that was. I mean, they had Nick Mullins dead to right and still couldn't get him on the ground. Who was that? All right, so you break past, you break free, and you end up getting right past you. Need to get the quarterback on the ground. That pass shouldn't even been thrown. Like, that pass shouldn't even been thrown. He should have been dead to rights right there. Okay, and they hand the ball off, and he fighting for extra yards. I don't know, man. It just seemed like if I'm looking at this team, if I'm looking at both of these teams today, it just seemed like one team is just motivated to play, and the other team seemed like they just going through the motions. But like I said, that goes back to, the question. Like, is the training camp that the New Orleans Saints having a little bit too lenient? They were talking about how there's not much, like physical tackling. There's not much, when it comes to like, guys practicing and the times and practices being short. And, so that kind of stuff paid dividends, man, in games like this. Sometimes, man, you can tell like the type of practices and the type of energy that teams, come with every single week. I mean, I think that your energy is a reflection of how you practice. I'm not saying going out there and kill each other, but yeah, you got to have some level of aggression when it comes down to it. And I also feel like, I understand that you have players that are, that are veteran guys that know what they're doing, but I still feel like they should have been out here. Like I still feel like Cam Jordan, Chase Young, like they should have at least took some snaps. They should have been a part of some series. Like I'm not saying they should have played like even if it's like one series or two. I think they should have been out here. Man, they taking a lot of time off the clock. Well, look, man, like I ain't got no problem with it. I just hope I hope this game over sooner rather than later. I think that you pretty much honestly, I think you pretty much seen what you needed to see. Like this game, like in these preseason games, they're mostly based on storylines. And like when it comes to competitions, you're basically just trying to see how that particular person performed in the face of competition. So I mean, we went into this game wondering what Tyler Shough would look like with the first team, and I mean, there was some ups and some downs, but it definitely showed that he has some work to do. He definitely does. So, okay. And that pass is intercepted. All right. And that's by Jalen Ford. So what a way to make up for the fact that he could have had a sack and he turns around to catch an interception. So the second-year guy out of Texas gives himself an interception, man. So that's a good thing. You got Nick Mullins. Didn't see him underneath. Yeah, he didn't see him coming underneath. And that pass was picked off. So Jalen Ford making up for it. I mean, he actually had the pressure on Nick Mullins. He had his hands wrapped around him. He just couldn't bring him down to the ground. The football guys have spoken interception. I disagree. We need to keep the starters healthy going into the season. Look, if you're concerned about, if we're worried about, getting guys hurt or getting, like, what do you think going to happen in the regular season? There's 3 preseason games. There's 17 regular season games. So I'm not saying for them to go out there and play every down, but they definitely need to play a series. You think that the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't concerned if Trevor Lawrence is out there playing with second and third string guys, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby? Like, these guys are instrumental to their success offensively, but they still out there. All I'm saying is, like, man, you need those reps. Especially if we talking, if this was like a defense where we're used to seeing them play, like if this was a Dennis Allen defense, then I can understand this. But this is a new defense. This is a 3-4 defense. They're moving from a 4-3 with a different coordinator. Yeah, they need some reps. And we can't be sitting up here concerned about that. Like, if guys going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt. And I'm not saying for them to be playing the entire game, but a series or two, yeah, absolutely, they should be out there. Hell nah, Rattler would never. Them Shough wasn't really the full first team. We're talking about full first team of who? First full team of who? First full team of who? Like, we talking about the same first team, or we talking about Jacksonville? Because I seen a lot of starters that are gonna be there week 1 for the New Orleans Saints, and we talking about them. I said it earlier. Kellen Moore is too soft. Does he get in players, or is he just a cupcake? Well, look, I don't think that you have to be the toughest coach ever. I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's just about execution, man. And, are you getting the best out of the players? And better yet, do you have the right players? Is the question. I think the Saints got some talent on this football team, but there's a lot of places where they need to get better. That's the reason why I'm saying, like, this is a rebuild. So I'm not expecting for, them to light the world on fire or anything like that. They tried to do an end around with Mason Tipton there. Okay, so I'm wondering to myself, I don't really see, like, I don't know if they're trying to see things out of certain players. But I'm not really seeing too many passing plays, being called. I mean, I see a couple like dump offs and stuff like that. Okay, so here we go with a passing play. Spencer Rattler going down the field to Mason Tipton with the big time catch. Yeah, Mason Tipton definitely gonna be on his football team. He definitely gonna be on his football team in 2026 on 53. He's gonna be making a big impact, man. Yet again, another big time play by Mason Tipton down the field, and it's good to see it happen in a game instead of just in practice. So, Spencer Rattler taking advantage of the opportunity. Look, Spencer Rattler may be the best half quarterback that you go see. It's right. It's right. He gonna look good in the first half before the team make an adjustment, or would he come in the second half and the team didn't make an adjustment? And that man gonna give you a good half of football. I can tell you that. He gonna give you a good half of football. it. Let's see. What up, TJ? I disagree. Defensive starters should play 2 to 3 series. If Trevor Lawrence can play, Kool-Aid, Alante Brazil, and others can play. Yeah, man. Look, I'm not saying they got to play the whole game. I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't know, man. I just feel like they should have played a series or something like that. Like, you can't just walk around this thing playing, and acting like, you gotta have fine-tooth gloves with these players, man. I mean, look, it's a long season, and it's about continuity and repetition and getting those reps, man. You talking about what you did with the Rams? I don't feel like that's good enough, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully that defense better come out looking real good. All right, so we pass out to Cam Akers right there. So out of 2 quarterbacks today, I gotta say, I mean, I don't even think it's close. Spencer Rattler clearly looks better. Clearly looks better than what Tyler Shough did with the first team. I mean, he's moving around in the pocket and offensive line, for the most part, has looked a little bit better in pass protection, not run blocking, as we can see as Johnson got through there. Like, man, I feel so bad for these running backs. I really do. Like, there's a competition going on with the running backs too, and yet again, the offensive line is so terrible and can't block that these guys can't even really show or exercise their skills. The only thing that you could be impressed about is by these guys fighting for extra yards and making guys miss. Like, they basically creating their own plays. So making things happen for themselves. Spencer Rattler in the pocket, checks it down to Cam Akers. Cam Akers lowers the shoulder. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down right there. So, I don't know, man. TJ Rattler is the best half quarterback. Yeah, he is, man. I'm telling you. Like, Spencer Rattler looked really good in a half of football. Like, y'all, if you remember, okay, so Eric, like, for the most part, in the first half, when the Saints basically have their scripted plays and, team haven't made the adjustment, he'll look good. Then in the second half, when the team make the adjustments, I mean, he'll get shut down. If you remember that game with the Washington Commanders, Jake Hayner started that game. And then in the second half, they brought in Spencer Rattler, and Spencer Rattler pretty much almost won the football game for the Saints. So, like I said, man, he going to give you a good half of football now. He going to give you a good half of football. Saints 5-12 last year. Kellen Moore, soft coaching style, player's friend. I mean, you can be a player's coach, but you also got to be able to be. You also got to be knowledgeable. Like Kevin O'Connell is a player's coach, and he's a good coach. He ain't a rah-rah guy. Oh man. But see, I mean, I know that play didn't, convert on that 3rd down, but that's one of the main reasons why Spencer Rattler should be starting over Tyler Shough. This play right here. This guy in the pocket, he know he about to get hit. He know he going to take a hit. That's one of the main reasons why right there. Like, it goes just beyond like throwing the football and who looks good just throwing the football. It's just plays like that. Charlie Smith with a 40-yard field goal kick up, and he shanked that mug. Or he made it? I thought he shanked it. God, dog, that looked like that was no good. But anyway, the Saints with 3 field goals in the game. I thought for sure Charlie Smith. I thought he missed that. But anyway, not 17-9. Let's see. Do we have Les Miles as head coach? Well, look, I can understand to a certain extent why the plays of vanilla is preseason. You don't want to show everybody what you got. So I'm not even gonna go at the play calling. I mean, you don't need to be calling no exotic plays and no preseason, no way. Damn, 3 field goals won't win games. Hope is better for the regular season. Cam Akers scared to block. Another field goal once again. Yeah, man. Yeah, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not too concerned about that. Linda, thank you very much for the 199. Says TJ, do you think they will use two quarterbacks? No, I don't, Linda. I don't think it's going to be a two quarterback system. I think they're going to roll with one of these quarterbacks and just go from there. But me personally, I think Spencer Rattler needs to start the season, and I think we pretty much seen it on that last play that he just threw to the tight end. And he knew he was about to get hit. He knew he was about to get hit, and I'm saying this, folks, because his offensive line is not good. It's not a good offensive line, and you're going to have to take some shots sometime in order for you to make a play down the field. And Spencer Rattler seems like he is more willing to do that than Tyler Shough. Like Tyler Shough started getting a little happy feet and tried to complete a pass to Cesar Ruiz. You don't need that right now. And like I said, I'm not saying Tyler Shough can't end up being what you need him to be. I'm just telling you, like right now, based on what this offensive line is, it'll be a recipe for disaster if you let this dude start, because he won't be comfortable. And you got to give him an opportunity to be able to thrive, because he's not that type of quarterback that's just going to stand strong in the pocket and be willing to take a shot. He's just not. But Spencer Rattler will. If I'm looking at both of these quarterbacks, and I'm not saying Tyler Shough isn't tough, but if I'm evaluating toughness and who is the tougher of the quarterbacks, it's Spencer Rattler. I'm glad to see Olave and Shaheed ran great routes today, TJ. They both have both still very fast for receivers 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, look, it was good to see him on the field, but I mean, Chris Olave, he definitely got to catch that pass on that 3rd and 7, man, to convert. This game has been going by really, really fast, man, which I can appreciate. Shoot. I feel like preseason should have a running clock. They should have a running clock the whole time. I understand, like, it's football, you got to have the rules, but my goodness, some boring football and some bad execution. All right, so quarterback comparisons right here, 14 to 20. But I don't know. Tyler Shough, to me, like I said, I'm not saying that he ain't gonna end up being a solid quarterback, but I wouldn't start him over Spencer Rattler right now. We're going to be the most run-heavy team in the league this year while the game is close. Tyler Shough got that Matt Ryan in him. Look, I know we like to take shots at Matt Ryan, but look, if he end up being Matt Ryan, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Like, Matt Ryan wasn't a bad quarterback. And if he was Matt Ryan, like, you might have something. But I don't know. I just think that right now, like, based on like the way that he plays the quarterback position, man, you got to fix this offensive line, because he's a type of quarterback, he gonna need some time. He got to look through his progressions. Now he got to look through his progressions and throw the ball down the field, and you got to give him time to do that. Like, I can't see him doing what Spencer Rattler just did. Like, Spencer Rattler knew he was gonna get hit and take one in the chops, and he still threw the ball down the field. That shows like a level of toughness that not many quarterbacks have, and doing something that not many quarterbacks would be willing to do. Mike, thank you very much for the 199. Says starters on defense should have played today. I agree. I just feel like, man, look, too much superstar status stuff going on for my liking. Like, oh man, we need him, man. Oh, he a star. Like, man, so what? Like, these dudes were 5 and 12 last year. In my opinion, nobody should be on the bench. Like, it'd be one. Like, look, you even had Patrick Mahomes played in preseason. Travis Kelce, Xavier Worth, like they played in preseason, and them dudes were in the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but they still was in there. Like, so, like, you're a 5 and 12 football team. Like, I don't feel like nobody should be sitting. That's just me. That I don't know about y'all, like, but that's just me. Like you were a 5-12 football team with a new head coach. You playing. Yeah, you should at least play a couple of snaps. I'm not saying a whole game, but you should be out there. I wonder if Taysom was 100% where he would be in the mix to be the quarterback because this situation is bad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he'll be in the mix for quarterback, but I'm pretty sure they can find some ways to utilize old Taysom. We are getting in the red zone with Rat. We can't risk injury. We curse. Be safe. Well, look, if we curse, then we would be cursed in the regular season too, right? I'm just saying, like, what are we preseason cursed or regular season cursed? So I mean, look, if a guy gets hurt in the regular season, you're still going to say that we curse, right? I don't know, man. Like putting these guys behind museum glass just ain't cutting it for me, especially when you're a team that's 5-12. And you know, and honestly, that's an indictment on the Saints that you don't have the depth. That's an indictment on them that you don't have enough depth in order to compensate for the loss. So, I mean, I don't know. You're already top heavy. It asking and believing that a team is going to be in full strength 100% the entire season is just wishful thinking. Like if something was to happen to, you know, anybody in the wide receiver room or the defensive line room or in the secondary, like you're going to be pretty thin. So right now the Saints need to be working on trying to build up their depth. But right now, I mean, I mean, for the exception of a few guys at certain positions, I don't see too much depth. All right, so we got a 2nd and 8 here, the start of the fourth quarter. All right, here's a handoff to the running back. And a really good stop right there. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I don't know if that's DeMarco Jackson there. And then you have Chris Rumph out there, who I feel like more than likely is going to make the team, especially if it comes down between him and Isaiah Foskey. I mean, it ain't even a comparison there or any type of race. All right, PV looks like he's a little bit banged up right now. And, you know, that's unfortunate for him because he just recently got signed by the team a couple of days ago. All right, so here we go. Here's the pass rush. Had him. And man, my goodness, man. I mean, you ain't going to have to get a more easy opportunity for an interception right there, man. Like, you got to take advantage of that opportunity. You're going to be kicking yourself in there, man. I mean, you had it. I mean, had really good track on it. I mean, that's what you needed. Could have had a pick 6 right there. All right, but anyway, 4th and 6. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're going to be kicking yourself for that one. That one should clearly have went the other way. But those are the type of plays, man, that get you on the radar of a team, whether it's the Saints or somebody else. Yeah, that clearly should have been a pick 6. I love to say that we need an identity, but there is so many problems that identify an identity. Yeah, man. Look, I just feel like this, man. Oh man, I'm laughing because you know I kind of look at what you're saying, man. Like what identity, right? You know, identifying as a plethora of miles away. Like it not only is it a plethora. Like I mean, man, this is gonna be a rough season, man. This is gonna be a rough season if they can't fix some of these situations and if they can't stay healthy. You know, I'm just because everybody's been talking about, man, the Saints find an identity. Like I said, I just think they need to find out, what type of football team they are first before they even establish that. Let's see. I like the way that Giannis flies around. If I can say something positive, yeah, Sanker, yeah, he's going to be a part of the team. Probably be playing on special teams and probably be a rotational guy. Rump, Simpkins, nice diamonds in the rough. Yeah, I would put Fidel Diggs in there too, even though I haven't really heard his name called as often this game. I'm looking right now, man. Defensively, Quincy Riley is leading the team in tackles. Quincy Riley with 5, Ugo Amadi with 3, DeMarco Jackson with 3, Danny Stutzman with 2, Kristen Boyd with 2, Vernon Broughton, who had a fumble recovery, he had 2 tackles. You have a couple guys with 2. You have Jonathan Bullard, Jordan Howden, Jonas Sinker, Isaiah Foskey has a tackle. How about that? How about that? Fidel Diggs, Chris Rumpf, Jonah Williams all have an assisted tackle. And of course, Jalen Ford has that interception. But the most alarming thing about this is I don't see any sacks. Like no quarterback hit. I mean, no quarterback sacks, I should say. I don't know about the hits. You know, that I don't see a statistic for that, but no sacks, man. Not getting a quarterback on the ground. So not taking advantage of those opportunities. And they had chances too. Yeah, that Ford pick earned him a spot. Well, I think he was gonna make the team anyway from a special teams uh standpoint. So all right, so there you go, man. Mason Tipton back out there on the field. Here we go. Spencer Rattler, play action pass, looking, scrambling, runs, and slides. There you go. Good slide right there. Right, taking what the defense give you right there. Trying to look down the field. But right now, I mean, pretty solid performance so far by Spencer Rattler. You know, a couple deep shots down the field, 2 positive plays. You know, like even though Mason Tipton didn't catch the first one, there still was a pass interference penalty that put him in a red zone. Then, of course, another deep shot to Mason Tipton after that. So here we go right here. Here's a handoff. This is to Velus Jones, and Velus, who more than likely probably make the team, if especially if you're trying to utilize Rashid Shaheed more so on offense and trying to take him away from special teams. You'll probably see Velus Jones returning kicks here. All right, so that brings up a first down. So you got guys right now on the bubble, got opportunity to make the team, trying to take advantage of these opportunities. And Spencer Rattler trying to build some momentum here, you know, after the performance. All right, he checks it and he runs and he slides. Okay, so yet again, nobody's there. And here's a flag, but nobody's there. He's looking, going through his progressions. He goes through his progression, tried to go for a slide, and yet again, you know, tries to make a play, and you got Wesley on a holding penalty. All right, so we ain't really too much worried about Wesley here because Wesley not gonna be on the team. But you know that's the opportunities. You know that's the opportunities that you have to take advantage of. You know nothing's there. You know try to take what the defense gives you. So this brings up a 1st and 20 here. So a promising drive starting out. Now you're behind the sticks again. All right, play action pass, looking, Rattler, scrambling, throws the ball, and tries to get between 2 defenders right there. And had Jacobson, very dangerous pass, by the way. He was able to fit it through there, but you know, Jacobson couldn't come up with the catch. Yeah, you got to catch that. But I understand why he didn't catch it. But you know, still got to catch that pass. Still got to catch that pass. It was a dangerous throw, man, but you know he got it through there. Got to make that catch. All right, so here we go. 2nd and 20. Jumps up in the pocket, throws it down the field. It's too high for Dante Pettis. Too high right there. I mean, he had him. Had him, man, just a tad bit too high on the throw. All right, so it's 3rd and 20. Good protection, throws the ball down the field, and that pass is caught by Dante Pettis. Tried to get him out of bounds. I mean, it's still 4th down, but good pass right there. All right, so we see throws the ball down the field. That pass is caught. He gets very close to the sticks, and so he's able to stay in bounds on a 4th and 3. And it's going to bring up a punt. But got 17 yards on the play. Kellen not going for it is straight up BS. It's preseason, man. And I get it, but let's see. Why wouldn't we go for it freaking preseason? I don't know. Maybe they want to see something on defense. Maybe that's what it is. Bro, can our receivers catch? It's never just a 1st and 10 for the Saints. We always going backwards. Look, man, I thought that was a promising drive. It started off promising. I mean, you got maybe like 8 yards on a throw, and then Vila Jones gets the 1st down, and then you had a couple scrambles from Spencer Rattler, and then you get a holding penalty by Wesley that set him back, and a couple, the dangerous throw to Jacobson, which still he should have caught, and then Dante Pettis, who was alone. In the flat, a little bit too high. And then, he caught a more complicated catch, on the left sideline. Look, I don't know, man. I don't know. We can't blame Carr anymore if we are not able to score touchdowns in the red zone. Good point, Linda. That's a good point. Said, I bet if Tyler was on, I bet he would have went for it. Like I said before, Kellen Moore looked like he is just too soft, bro. Shows no fight is preseason. What I missed, just got on break. You ain't missed much, man. Seen the Saints had the ball. We're driving down the field. There was a holding penalty that set them back. They was started first and 20 after the holding penalty and couldn't convert, of course, and then they had to punt. So now it's Jacksonville's ball. LOL, they trying to hinder Spencer Rattler. Look, I mean, you could try to hinder them all you want to, but the only thing that you're going to do is basically just set your own team back. I can tell you this, like, if you go into the season week 1 with Tyler Shough, you're not winning many football games. Not at this point. Like, you're going to struggle. I just think that the guy just needs some time to sit on a bench and evaluate things. And, Spencer Rattler, I mean, he leaves a lot to be desired, but he gives you the best chance to win at the quarterback position because, he seems like he's more willing to sit in the pocket. He's willing to take a hit. He's, right now, if you're comparing the two quarterbacks, I don't even think it's a comparison when it comes to like what guy needs to be, starting in week 1. I'm not saying that he's that much better, and I'm not saying like after 5 or 6 weeks into the season, this won't be a completely different situation. But what I am saying is Spencer Rattler is the better of the quarterbacks as of right now. Just want to say, TJ, no matter how the season plays out, I'm still showing love to the content. Appreciate you doing what you do. Well, I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you, showing love to the content. And I just ask everybody, continue to do so. Like, I don't know what the season is going to end up being, but I do know that I will be here after every game, talking about the Saints and continuing to talk about the team. Let's see. Ain't no way they didn't go for it. Yeah, they didn't do it. They need more preseason games. 3 ain't enough. Let's see. I know our play calling was going to be vanilla, but they are really too vanilla. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get in preseason, man. Both quarterbacks don't give us any chance to win anything. I mean, but if we talking about who gives us the best chance at all, I mean, Spencer Rattler. every time the Saints get the ball, we should automatically start with a 1st and 20. I'm already looking forward to the 2026 draft. I mean, man, good play right there. Good pass breakup. That pass incomplete. Yeah, that was a good defensive play right there. I'm just very concerned, man, about the lack of pass rush in this game. Like there's been little to no pass rush, and guys are not getting the quarterback on the ground when opportunities present itself. And I don't care if it's backup guys. You got to get the quarterback on the ground. We got to chill with these expectations, people. We knew what we were getting ourselves into this season. This is no fairy tale. You ain't lying about that. Good tip pass right there at the line of scrimmage. Brings up a 4th down. So really good, solid defensive play right there. Defense right there getting pressure. And he gets his hand up there, tips the ball away. Yeah, there you go. That's Jeremiah Martin right there. The Saints just recently signed him, so he's already coming in making plays. So that's what you want to see, man. Take advantage of those opportunities. Jeremiah Martin was signed a couple of days ago to the Saints squad and got himself a pass deflection there. All right, so here we go, going down the sidelines, and yeah, man. I mean, this guy just recently got on the team and making plays. TJ, I do not trip off preseason games, regular season games, and the defense can get to the quarterback. No, that's a problem. Yeah, I'm not tripping off the preseason either. I'm looking at when I look at preseason, the alarming thing to me is when players that matters that are going to matter to your team when they are out there getting whipped. That's when I start getting concerned. That's when I'm like, man, like this dude gonna be in the starting rotation. The offensive line having issues is concerning because that's your starting offensive line. But if it's like some dude like that, more than likely not gonna make the team, and he give up a big play, like okay, it is what it is. Let's see. Put some bounties on. Put some bounties on players, says Tom Brady for the 279. Look, I ain't putting no bounties on anybody. I don't feel like they need to put a bounty on anybody. They just need to play better. Asante Samuel Jr. and a wide receiver and get Foskey out of here. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know, man. I think the secondary, I don't think they that bad. I think they got some talented guys out there, some young guys. I haven't seen enough bad out of the secondary for me to sit up here and just say they just need some help. I mean, but to add a guy like Asante Samuels, if he's healthy, that would be a plus. But yeah, I mean, look, Isaiah Foskey, you got guys that just got on this team 2 days ago making plays, and he only got 1 tackle in an entire game, and he pretty much been in from start to finish. Sam, boy, I've been saying the same thing for years. They should have started Rattler when Olave and Shaheed was on the field. Well, I guess, he started last week, so they was giving Tyler Shough an opportunity. Like I said, to me, man, I'm going into the season with Spencer Rattler as the quarterback. That's what I'm doing. Like, I think that if they were to start Tyler Shough at the beginning of the season, it would be a mistake. All right. I don't really trip all preseason, but I look at what's next to come for the regular season. I trip off what I see from starters in the preseason as a unit. What's the over-under? We get a flag on the first play of the series. All right, and that goes absolutely nowhere. Like Stonewall Jackson. I think that was Marcus Yarns right there trying to run the ball. Oh, I say, man, I mean, if anything, this game just shows you how thin the depth is for the Saints. That you have guys like that that's not making plays, And these guys are going, they're not going to start, but they'll be a part of your rotation. 8 of 12, 99 yards for Spencer Rattler. All right, so here we go. All up in the face, spins off. And that's going to bring up a third down. So yet again, like, man, running for his life, has to make a play. But at the end of the day, he's willing to stay there in the pocket. And so straight there, spins off, runs, and he ends up getting tripped up for the sack. I got to see how many sacks they got in this game. I got to see. Jacksonville has – let me see how many sacks Jacksonville got. Okay, not too many. So it was like 2 sacks. 2 sacks total. It just seemed like they just always around the quarterback. Got to deliver the ball, and that pass is caught. And that's with Dante Pettis with a first down. So Dante Pettis, who was with the Saints last season, made some plays last year. Saints bring him back. I see Kevin. I do see Kevin Austin in the game. He just hasn't been very active. I see him number 81 down there on the screen. All right, so here we go. Spencer Rattler with the handoff to the running back. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's Marcus Yorns. And he gets a few yards on the play. How much rope is the Saints brass going to give more? Not saying I want him gone, but if he has a bad season, how many losses would it take for him to be fired? Nah, they're not firing him. And to be honest with you, I don't feel. Look, we got to be like, I get it, man, but we can't be like, we got to be realistic about this. Like, this team is not very good when it comes to depth. Like, we know this, man. We know that the Saints gonna need some work. I can't blame this dude for this. Like, I can't. Like, I can't. I feel like anybody that's evaluating this man based on the first season, if they have a bad season, I just think it's wrong. Like, we know that this is a rebuild and it's going to be a process. I find it funny that the Saints couldn't run a football at all on third down the entire game. And they go for it. I mean, they run the ball on third down, 3rd and 2, like they're going to get it. What is the third down conversion as of right now for the Saints? The Saints are 3 of 11 on third down. Jacksonville Jaguars are 6 of 11. All right. So, oh my goodness. I don't know, man. This offensive line needs work. And yet again, you're trying to, and a flag on the play. So what they're gonna call it on the defense. So this is automatic first down for the Saints here. Yeah, go for it, bro. This whole team needs a Snicker bar. Look, what I'm saying is, like, it's not fair to evaluate Kellen Moore in his first season, man. Like, I'm not even going, like, I don't care what the Saints look like this season. I'm not evaluating Kellen Moore as a head coach. Now, in 2026, it's gonna be a different story. But I'm like, this year, like, we already know, man, it's a rebuild, and it's not gonna be a really good I mean, the way it looks, they're going to go through some problems. I just don't understand. Like, you got Mike Jacobson out there. I think he's about 6'7". You got Leaky Mataval out there. I mean, he about 6'7". I don't know. I will hope that the New Orleans Saints going to start using their tight ends in the red zone when the regular season starts. Maybe they don't want to show people that's what they're going to do. Because a lot of these plays right here, man, you got to, I mean, like I said, it's a pretty vanilla offense. That was a good run right there by Viola Jones. That's the best run. Might be the best run of the night for the Saints, or the afternoon. One of the best runs of the afternoon for the Saints. There goes the handoff. I mean, so he pretty much had about 3 or 4 yards before he was even touched. So that was a really good solid run right there. Viola Jones again cutting back, taking advantage of this. All right, so Viola Jones making a strong case to try to make the roster. All right, so Saints using a little bit of tempo here. Try to do a handoff, and that pass is intercepted. And yet again, the Saints get close to get into the red zone, and then yet again, can't come away with points. Interception. So say, yeah, be the football guy save us. RPO in the red zone is crazy. Why would you throw that ball? Yep, that was fun while it lasted. What else is new? Chalk the next 2 seasons up. What was Rattler looking at? I don't know. I don't know. That was a bad pass. Let's see. I know it's fictional, but I only asked because I was fired in Madden after going 3-13-1 with the Saints. First half, O-line played terrible. It's preseason at least. TJ, how do you honestly keep your cool reading all these stupid comments that these people are saying? These people obviously don't know football. They can't be real Saints fans. Look, man, like I just feel like people are entitled to their opinions. I can understand football is a game of emotions. Like people are emotional about their football team, and hey, so everybody's entitled to their opinion, man. But my thing is, like I already said, like I'm not just saying this. Like this isn't just hyperbole. Like I know this is gonna be an uphill battle for this team. Like it's gonna be an uphill battle. Like and getting upset and frustrated about something that you already know more than likely is gonna happen. Like this is a rebuild, right? It's a rebuild. Mistakes gonna happen, and it's probably gonna be some bad football being played. I really feel that way. Like I went into 2025 really feeling that way, like really honestly feeling like it's going to be an uphill battle for the Saints, and it looks like it's going to be. But I think there's a lot of mistakes that have been made by the New Orleans Saints. For example, going into this quarterback competition with 3 young, inexperienced quarterbacks. I look no disrespect to Jake Hayner, but I just think that the Saints need a veteran quarterback in that locker room. They need a veteran quarterback in his locker room, and the fact that they haven't even addressed that is very alarming. When both guys like struggle, so I don't know if this gonna change anything. Probably not. Maybe the Saints already feel like, okay, man, we just gonna see what we have. Maybe this is the season where, some of the things we were talking about coming into this season, the Saints are doing. Like, okay, this is a rebuild. We're gonna see what we have, and if it doesn't pan out, then worst case scenario, we might end up, picking in the top 3. So I just want to know, man. I'm trying to see what happened on this play here. All right, so yeah, I don't know what the heck was with that. I don't know if Mason Tipton was supposed to come a little bit, you know, he was supposed to. I don't know. I don't know if he was supposed to maybe come in a little bit close on a quick slant. I mean I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a pretty bad football game, man. All things considered, this has been awful. Like both sides of the football. It's like, I mean, you got to watch the tape, but after that, you got to burn that joint. Desi, besides Camaro, who did they resign? That's old besides Camaro. Tipton should have ran the route better. I think he ran the route. I don't think he ran it deep enough, or he ran it too deep. Yeah, that's what it is. He ran it too deep. Seemed like he was like, I don't know. Like he ran it, like he's supposed to like maybe come a little bit, like cut a little bit quicker than that. I don't know. I can't explain that one. That was just a bad pass. That cornerback jumped right in front of that. Didn't they re-sign Juwan Johnson and Cameron Jordan? Yeah, they did. If we have another top 5 pick and we use all of our picks, we'll be well on our way to getting better. Yeah, I mean, look, you just gotta figure this thing out. It's gonna take some time. All right, really good containment right there, man. Really good containment right there by Thomas. He was able to get in the backfield right there, big guy, right? Really showing some athleticism, holding on to him till the cavalry comes, and like really good play right there. Yeah, but this is a rebuild, man. This is what a rebuild looks like. Just when a team that's just trying to figure out and trying to establish a new identity, this is what it looks like. This is what a team looks like, folks. This is what they look like. We're gonna be going live for a post-game show on the Bleacher Report. We'll be breaking down this preseason game number 2. So make sure that you come over to Bleacher Report for the Saints Week 2 preseason post-game show. And we'll be talking about what happened in this game and some of the things the Saints can actually work on. But the story of this game has been 3 field goals, bad execution on the offensive side of football, and bad tackling on the defensive side of the football. But to the Saints' credit, the Jacksonville Jaguars, like, they have not scored a point since the first half, so that's a plus. So this brings up 4th down right here. So, I mean, I guess if you're looking for silver linings and dark clouds, I guess you can look at that. But that defense in the first half could not stop the first team of the Jaguars. Like I said, clear. This game could have been 24-9 right now. But as far as like Kellen Moore's personality, I don't have any issue with his personality. You can win with a personality like Kellen Moore, but you can't win, without having talent, in depth, on your football team. And you definitely need consistency at the quarterback position if you're going to win anything. And you got to have something. Like, you got to have a really good offensive line and a running game if you're going to have, like, average quarterback play. And if you're going to have an average offensive line, you better have some stellar elite quarterback play. Because if you don't have that, then it's going to be a long season. We definitely younger now, guys. We will be okay. Who that for life? We going 10-7 for the season easily. I mean, that'll be great, but it's gonna take some. Man, they're gonna take some work to get there, bro. We need an offensive line and a future quarterback for Christmas. Keith Stallbird got hustle and grit. I agree. Isaiah Stallbird definitely has that. Here we go, man. 2 minutes. Let's see what they can do right there. Pass off to Dante Pettis. Gets a few yards on the play. And let's see. They're going to work with some tempo here. Try to see if they can get one more play in before the 2-minute warning. Let's see what they can do here. Checks it down there to Velus Jones, and really good tackle right there, man. Look, Jacksonville's tackling has been like stellar in this game. Like, I mean, guys have been like, when they get their hands on these Saints players, like, they're going down to the ground. All right, that's going to bring up 3rd down. So the 2-minute warning. Foskey fighting for his job. Like, man, Foskey, he got no job, man. He Tommy Strong up in this thing. He ain't got no job. This man is out here putting stuff on film to hopefully be on somebody else's team. TJ, I think 2 things happened on that pick. Tipton didn't look to put a lot of effort into the route, and Rattler stared down his read. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. That was like a quick slant. I don't know if he I don't know if he just didn't break on it quick enough. But all I know is like pass shouldn't have been thrown. Like he should have seen that defender like being able to, come underneath that. But Saints probably won't win another game this season. Say it. They'll win a football game, man. They'll win a football game. It's early. Well, it's too late for Foskey. It's definitely too late for him. He just out there. Man, you ain't got no job. Eddie Murphy. Yeah, he ain't got no job, man. Like he just out there, man. Isaiah Foskey out there for cardio, man. Isaiah Foskey is out there for cardio right now. This man might well just put a Fitbit watch on or get his Apple Watch out. That man is out there burning calories. That's what he's doing right now. Let's see what Isaiah Foskey's stat line is. I've seen Isaiah Foskey this entire game. Isaiah Foskey, as of right now, has one tackle. One tackle in the entire game. He's been out there the entire time for the most part. I want to say the most I see as far as, like when you make plays and, they start showing you on camera and stuff like that. I only see Isaiah Foskey one time, and that's when the start of the half. Well, when it was going into the locker room for halftime and the camera kind of panned towards. That's the only time I seen Isaiah Foskey. That's not a good thing. But, like this is, like I said, folks, this is a rebuild. This is what it looks like. And it's going to take some time for this team to get where they need to be. But there's been some bad football this afternoon. It has been some bad football this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been some bad football. What's the best option other than Bridgewater? Flacco, Winston, need somebody, just saying. Well, look, the way I look at it, I can see Jameis Winston not being with the Giants. They'll probably roll with the way that he's been playing. I mean, you got Russell Wilson as your starter. Then you'll probably, have Jackson Dart as your backup. So, it'll probably be, if they roll with two quarterbacks, that means that Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito will probably be out in New York. So that probably give you an opportunity to bring Jameis back. Teddy Bridgewater, he just basically on the team. And yet again, Mason Tipton continue to make plays. But I don't see Teddy Bridgewater, making a Tampa Bay roster. I think they're going to, roll with Kyle Trask as the backup quarterback. So, I mean, I guess, you're probably going to have to see. I think you're probably going to have to see, like, after preseason, where the quarterback situation is. But I'm not keeping three inexperienced quarterbacks on this roster. I'm just not. I'm not. Like, the Saints need a veteran quarterback. They need a veteran quarterback on this roster. Like, these dudes are too raw, too inexperienced, and too reckless with the football for you to just roll with these two guys and think you're going to do something. Unless, like I said, the Saints pretty much came to grips with where they are as a football team and like, okay, we're going to let the chips fall where they may. And if these two quarterbacks don't pan out, then we'll go into 2026 looking to find out our, successor in 2026. What they trying to see? Did he get touched? What are they looking at? Somebody tell me. I got my TV down. Okay. Just trying to say for the first down. Okay, so anyway, man. Yeah, they need a veteran. They need a veteran quarterback. The Saints need a veteran quarterback on this team. Like these two quarterbacks are, like I said, too young, too inexperienced, and too reckless right now. Pass down the field. Did he catch that? Man, Mason Tipton. My goodness, man. That boy Mason Tipton. That boy making some plays, man. This is how you take advantage of your opportunities, man. This is how you take advantage of your opportunities. Down the field, had them. Mason Tipton making plays, boy. If nobody making plays out here today, Mason Tipton. If anybody made a case to be a part of the roster, it's definitely Mason Tipton. Spencer Rattler definitely gonna want that pass back. Had him. Throwing that thumbs up. Like easy for you to say, man, I was open. All right, so here we go. Looking. But I tell you, man, Spencer Rattler is a gun slinger. And past the set green, okay. But anyway, that man is a gunslinger, and of course, another false start penalty. Wouldn't be a Saints drive without seeing a false start. And it wouldn't be a Saints drive without at least seeing one false start. Be too much. Wouldn't be a Saints drive without seeing a false start at least once. I heard every time the Saints get a false start, an angel gets his wings. So a lot of wings been given out to Angel. What's his name? Pasunik. I think his name. The guy that they recently signed also. We know one thing. Tipton made the 53. Yeah, Mason Tipton out there making plays. Tipton looked like Lance Moore, man. I'm not just saying it because he's a light-skinned wide receiver. Like he played like Lance Moore. And we pass down the field. That pass is caught, and that's to Dante Pettis for the touchdown. Okay, so Spencer Rattler able to facilitate that 2-minute drive, similar to that Washington Commanders game last season, with a few seconds left on the clock. So definitely gonna go for 2 to try to tie this game. And of course, if they tie this game, the game basically ends in it ends in a tie. The game ends in a tie. So if the Saints can convert this 2-point conversion, the game will end with a 17-17 tie because there's no overtime in preseason. Thank God. All right. So on 2-point conversion last season, the Saints were 1 of 4. Can they change that? We'll see. Too much time. Man, you got that. Yeah, he got it. There you go. All right, so I think Spencer Rattler pretty much sealed the deal today. I think this is your starting quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying like he's perfect, but he's the better of the quarterbacks. And this is what I said, man. Like the guy he definitely needs some work, but out of the 2 quarterbacks, based on what the Saints' needs are right now, like they need a quarterback that has this type of mind frame. Like a guy that's, has that aggressive approach, a guy that's going to be willing to take one in the chops, bro. That's just the reality right there. So at the end of the day, I think he pretty much won his competition. Like that's your starting quarterback. Like Tyler Shough looked shook out there. Like anytime like he had pressure in his face, and like I said, that's just something that he's going to have to work on. And then on top of that, it took him too long to make some decisions. Looked like he was going through his reads 2 and 3 times, and it was a matter of, can I make that throw, man? You got to have some confidence. Like I've seen a couple very dangerous passes by Spencer Rattler in this game, but man, that the fact that he's willing to go out there and aggressively try to make a pass and trust his receivers to make the play, I think it helped him. So you got 20. Yeah, so you got about 21 seconds right here, man. So they're gonna try to drive down the field, and you got to keep in mind, folks, this is the same team who have a kicker who kicked a 70-yard field goal. Let's see. Get out of here with no injuries. That's a win. All right, so keep in mind you got a guy who kicked a 70-yard field goal. So if they get close to 70, they go bring out Cam Little. Let's see what they got. Looking, checks it down, and that pass is dropped. All right, so 16 seconds left. All right, so I'm pretty sure the game is over and because I'm a couple plays ahead. Behind everybody, but imagine Tyler going up against the starting defensive unit. Well, probably can't. I can't because he didn't play. But at the end of the day, like if we're looking at these two quarterbacks or whatever, based on like what the Saints actually need at this point, he caught that. They're gonna try to kick a field goal though. Like I said, that guy made a 70-yard field goal outside. Yep. Yeah. That's why I say, man, shoot. Man, that was a good catch. That's clutch stuff right there. All right, so 9 seconds left in the game. Been a pretty eventful second half. You say overtime. No overtime. No, Frank. No overtime. The game ended in a tie. If both teams have the same score at the end of regulation, it ends in a tie. There's no overtime in preseason. And that pass is picked off, and that's by Sinker. And Sinker goes down the sidelines. So that was a really good play, man, by the rookie. See, those are the type of plays, and those are the type of things that you want to see, folks. You want to see your young players making plays. Like Sinker, rookie out of Virginia, ball pops up in the air, gets picked off, runs down the field, and he's the one making a play. Like this guy, if everything can come together, this is one of those players could be on your team for the next 4 to 5 years. So to see him, making plays, going down the field, and look at the teammates, man. Everybody's excited. Everybody, those are the type of plays you want to see from your rookies. That's what's going to help the Saints get out of these type of situations they've been in over the last couple of years, like drafting really good players that can contribute right away. And that was a really good heads up play by him. All right, so the game ends in a 17-17 tie. Really good drive by the Saints to end the game. Credit to Spencer Rattler. The pass that he threw to Mason Tipton down the left sidelines, overthrew him, went right back. Was able to find Dante Pettis that time for a touchdown. Scrambled in for a 2-point conversion, and they tied the football game, and the game ends in a tie. So, New Orleans Saints, it wasn't a perfect game. Offensive line definitely still needs some work. Lord knows, the boy needs some work. But at the end of the day, they were able to get the job done. Credit to the New Orleans Saints for being able to escape out of there with at least a tie and showing some really good offensive execution towards the end of the game. It should have been 1 second left on the clock. Look. Look, the fact that they were able to like put together the best drive of the game at the end of the game is a plus for me. Like looking at the New Orleans Saints and what they have done, you know, in this entire game, like ending in a tie, I'm actually shocked. You know, I'm actually the way that they play. Let's see what Spencer Rattler had to say.
From the guys. We had a little miscommunication the drive prior with the turnover. But, tipped it, bounced back, made a great catch. Dante Pettis, O-line blocked their tail off. Finished. We had to have it. So we finished and executed the 2-point. It was good. You were able to get in for that 2-point using your legs, something you said you wanted to emphasize with this offense. Why? I think it's just so dynamic. Helps your O-line out. Keeps the defense.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to help your O-line out.
Looking at that last play there from the rookie, Jonas Sanker, big-time play. What have you seen from this rookie class? They're ballers. I mean, they're dependable, they're reliable, they know their stuff. And Jonas has had a great camp and obviously made plays throughout the preseason and made a great pick. I thought there was a second left, but he made a hell of a play. I'm sure you wanted that last second. Yep, no doubt. He hates ending a tie, but good finish. Thanks. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Aaron. So, the Saints come back from a 17-3 deficit. Game the tie.
All right, so there you have it. New Orleans Saints, Jacksonville Jaguars ending the tie. Really good offensive execution down the stretch. I'm gonna take a few more of your comments, and then we're gonna go ahead and have to transition to the Bleacher Report. We'll do the post game. On the Bleacher Report, we'll break down this game. We'll talk about some of the highs and some of the lows and some of the things that we saw in this game. But I think based on this performance, Spencer Rattler should be the starter going into week 1. And that's not, like I said, it may not be saying much to certain people out there. And you might roll your eyes with the statement, but if we're talking about evaluating quarterbacks based on what we actually see, between games and execution, I think he pretty much won that competition. Now they can go back, they can say, in week 3, and they need to go ahead and just name this guy a starter. Allow Tyler Shough to come out there next week in week 3, him along with Jake Hayner, and maybe, have a few snaps with Spencer Rattler as well. But, they need to go ahead and name this man the starter, because Tyler Shough, to me, I think there's something there. I think that he has arm talent. I think he has really good zip on the ball. I mentioned I think that he throws the ball really well, but I still think there's something that he needs to work on. And who knows, like around week 7, week 8, if things aren't going the way the Saints need it to go, maybe you bring him in. Let's see. The defense stepped up. Jake will start week 1 for the Saints. Man, Jake didn't even play, which I knew he wasn't going to play. Like when I seen Tyler Shough play the entire first half, I said, Jake Hayner not going to play in this game. Rattler is him. Man, this quarterback battle is ridiculous. Tyler isn't ready. Yeah, he's just not ready to start. I'm not saying that he won't be. I'm just saying that as of right now, he's just not the guy that should be starting on this team. Even though it feels like the Saints want him to be, he's just not ready. He's just not ready yet. He's just not ready to be the starting quarterback for this football team. The numbers are close. It's going to be a tight call. I don't even honestly, I'm not even looking at the numbers. And you know, I'm gonna tell you why. Because the numbers can sometimes like tell you a story that isn't necessarily true. Case in point, look at Derek Carr's career. All I'm saying is what the Saints actually need at this particular time, which quarterback can give it to him, is Spencer Rattler. Look at this offensive line. Like Tyler Shough is the type of quarterback he needs an offensive line that is a really good unit. He needs like an offensive line that they ain't gonna get nobody close to him. Like he'll probably experience some type of pressure maybe a couple of times a game. Like the way that this offensive line is structured, this guy's gonna be erratic. He's gonna have happy feet, and it's gonna be a disaster. With Spencer Rattler, like Spencer Rattler isn't afraid to take a hit. Spencer Rattler will stand strong in a pocket and take one in the chops if that means that Chris Olave is gonna be open in a flat in a few seconds. Like you need, like it's about what your team needs at that particular time. At this time, the New Orleans Saints offensive line is not good enough for a quarterback like Tyler Shough. It's just not. Like, and you don't have a running game that can like compensate for the inexperience of your quarterbacks. So it has, like, to me, it has got to be Spencer Rattler. It has got to be Spencer Rattler because it will, like, the Saints have got to be careful because it will destroy the confidence of Tyler Shough if you put him out here the way that he is right now with this offensive line. Now you may not like Spencer Rattler, and you may not want Spencer Rattler to start, but looking at that offensive line, based on it seems like it's going to be an uphill battle to establish the run. You need yourself a quarterback that's going to be able to stand strong in the pocket, understand that he's going to take some hits and some punishment, and also have the ability to scramble outside the pocket. Even though Tyler Shough can do, but you know, he's one of those quarterbacks that's just trying to make a play in the pocket. TJ, so you're saying Shough is fragile. I'm not saying Shough is fragile. I'm saying, like, based on like the way that he plays the quarterback position is different from Spencer Rattler. He's not sitting up there trying to take a shot and take one in the chops. Like, he's just not. Like like there's a certain type of toughness that a quarterback has got to have, especially if you're on a team that offensive line isn't that good. Like you got to be willing to absorb some of that. And to me, I don't think that, you know, he's going to do it. I don't think that he's going to do it. Like you seen, like when the pressure was in his face, like he didn't try to step up in the pocket. He started moving back. He started to panic, and he threw the ball to Cesar Ruiz. And then there was another play, you know, where he tried to like move outside the pocket, threw the ball, almost, you know, put the ball in harm's way. Like you like Saints got to fix his offensive line, man. You're doing, like, if the Saints names Tyler Shough the starter with this offensive line, they doing that dude a disservice. Because you have Saints fans that already believe that he's not the guy already, and you're going to give them ammunition to validate how they feel. They're going to double down, triple down on it. And they're not going to give him opportunity to get better. And they're not going to even look at the offensive line as the reason why this guy is having issues. So I say put Spencer Rattler out there. Jake was throwing a rugby ball. Yeah. Rattler is better for cap space too. Ruiz looking worse from last year. His poise different. Start Rattler. Let's see. Rattler came through in the clutch today. Ruiz was our worst lineman last year. Cesar Ruiz is not good. Like, he's not good. I'm sorry. He's not good. Like, he's a solid right guard, but to me, like, that's all he will ever be. like you want your players to get better from year to year. Like you want them to show promise from year to year. You want them to eventually become like cornerstone players, like as they develop over the years. Like Cesar Reeves, like he is what he is. Like he's feast or famine. There's gonna be some games where his name not gonna be called, and he'll play solid, and then there's gonna be games where he just gets exposed. There's nothing in between. And I just think the Saints are fooling themselves. Like, you're not like, if you have a high powered offense, if you have an offense that is putting up a whole bunch of points, I guarantee you that more than likely Cesar Ruiz is not going to be on your offensive line. The Saints need to draft 2 interior offensive linemen in next year's draft. I don't care. Like, don't miss me with the Trevor Penning stuff. I hope that when he comes back, he finds stability. But even if that is the case, I still feel like the Saints don't need to sign him back. Because what they do is, once again, they try to validate bad decisions. And instead of them moving away from bad decisions, instead of them moving away from them, what they do is they try to double down on them. They try to move guys around. They try to put them in a different spot. They try to say, oh, well, we're going to see if he can do it from here. And then they're going to be talking him up and saying, oh, he's doing such a good job. Oh, he's showing so much promise. Oh, he's doing this. And then all of a sudden he gets out there and he gets beat to sleep by a defender. Like, they need to draft 2 interior linemen. And I would be trying to trade or move on from Cesar Ruiz after next season. Like, I would move on from it. You're not going to get where you need to be. You're not going to get yourself a solid offensive line. You're not going to be able to establish the run consistently. And no matter who you bring back there to be behind these quarterbacks, whether it's Kamara or Kendre Miller, you're not going to see anything. That offensive line on the interior is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And it's sad. It's sad that the New Orleans Saints are continuing to try to bring these dudes back and try to make it seem like it's the media's fault or it's fans' fault that, oh, you're not patient enough. Like, nah, man. This offensive line, you spent first round picks on 4 dudes on the offensive line. And the one that's in the second round better than everybody. I can understand a rebuild, folks. I can understand things trying to move forward. I can understand, like, having some growing pains. And I understand that things aren't going to be easy for the Saints. But what I don't understand is, how have you selected 4 guys on the offensive line, and they by far one of your worst units on an entire team? Like, it just does not make sense to me. I just can't wrap my head around it. Like, this offensive line, they may have the worst offensive line in football. Like, I watched highlights, and I watched quite a few games from start to finish, like in these preseason games, like, and also just following these teams for me doing the State of NFL podcast right now. And man, I'm telling you, it's one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL right now. And speaking of, since we talk about the State of the NFL, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, the State of the NFL. Go ahead and put that link in here. We got 1,007 people watching this right now live, man. Thank y'all so much. I ask that y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are the State of the Saints podcast. Been here since 2018. Do shows after every Saints game, and also we do watch alongs from time to time. And we also have content about the team. So if you're into the New Orleans Saints, follow the team. I ask that you hit that subscribe button and follow the State of the Saints podcast as well. Make sure you follow the State of NFL as well. If you're into the NFL talk, make sure that you subscribe. TJ, I think Torricelli kid is nice. Yeah, I thought he was nice. I mean, he had a holding penalty today, but after that, pretty much settled in. And he played center the entire game. And that's a plus right there, man. This is a young man who didn't play any center at all. and he played guard, and all of a sudden Will Clapp goes down last week, and he comes in, and now he's been a center in preseason games from start to finish. So congratulations to the kid. HBCU guy, went to North Carolina A&T, transferred from there, and went to South Carolina. So I think that there's definitely a place for him on the team. I think he's going to make the team. Rattler can scramble. Yeah, he can. He can move around in that pocket, Stepper. He can move around in that pocket. But we're about to go ahead and shift over to the Bleacher Report. Once again, make sure that you come on over, and we're going to be discussing the New Orleans Saints Week 2 preseason game. Once again, going to go ahead and put that link inside of the comments. Make sure that you come on over so we can go ahead and discuss that. Thank you all for spending a little bit of time with yours truly here. We checked out the second half of the New Orleans Saints Jacksonville Jaguars game. Definitely was better than the first half. I mean, it was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it was some exciting stuff down the stretch. Looking forward to seeing what the Saints are going to do preseason game number 3. That will be the final preseason game before these games matter. And it's up to the New Orleans Saints to try to fix some of these issues that they have, or it's going to be a really, really, really long season, right? I mean, it's going to be a long season already because you got some uncertainty, but it's definitely going to be a long, long, long season if they can't fix that offensive line. But thank you all so much. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8 and also the State of the NFL at State of the NFL. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?